Welcome, everybody, to round 3 of the virtual Spec P71 racing series. I'm your host and announcer here, Brett Madsen, owner of Spec P71. We are here today at the lovely Willow Springs International Raceway, one of the sketchiest tracks on the real calendar for Spec P71. So we see Matt Korchek going around turn 9, one of the most difficult corners in all of the Southern California tracks that we do run here. It's very difficult to get it right, very difficult to line yourself up, and if you do make a mistake, you're probably going to go off into a nice dirt nap. Let's go ahead and take a ride along here with Matt Korchek as we maneuver our way around the 9-turn, 2.5-mile road course here in Rosamond, California. As you see, turn 2 here is a long right-hand sweeper, absolutely scrubbing those left-hand side tires all the way through there, burning them up as we head into the Omega. This super steep left-hand turn right up to the balcony here and back on down through the Omega to the back straightaway as we see Matt get a little sideways on exit there. Diving into the exit of the Omega and up and over the hill into Repass Pass. Onto the long back straight and very unsafe turn 8. You don't want to have a tire go down or ball joint fail as you're heading into this corner. About 110, 120 miles per hour in these cars. Matt taking the safe line here as he dives down a little bit towards the inside and keeps it down towards the inside. Sacrificing a bit of the speed on the exit, but keeping him safe all the way through. We head back down the front straightaway here. Solid 140.558 for Matt. As he dives into turn 1 here. Very fast, high banked corner. Using up all that exit and right back into turn 2 for the long tire grinder. Key here for this race is going to be tire management, I believe. Those left-hand side tires get hot very, very quick. It might be in a little bit of a better situation considering the sun's going down, so it could be a little bit cooler out. It looks like air is 57 degrees and tarmac is 60 degrees, according to our readout here from the real-life conversion. As mentioned before, our series does use real-life weather, so we are utilizing the current weather at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. As we see night begin to... or sunset begin and potentially night begin to fall as we see Tyler Herring getting a little dancy over there, having a little fun in practice here. Trying not to keep my eye on the on race control right now because I am getting a ton of notifications of collisions. We will address that when we get to the qualifying in the race. Not important in practice. We're currently the race director Chom is on her blanket watching the race. Doesn't really mind the collisions right now, but as the race comes around, we're going to be keeping an eye on it. We hear someone off track. Something's making noises. I think more than likely Matt Korchek catching a little air off the jump going into turn 2. I do think racing this track in real life at nighttime would be an absolute blast, adding to the already incredibly sketchy environment that is Willow Springs. As I mentioned, this track is it's got the safety of a track from 1950s, and the ownership does not care enough to actually update it. I think The balcony is off limits now because it's an unsafe building. You know, just not doing the greatest things in the world. Hoping that someone that cares about racing comes along and does pick this track up and starts to rebuild it the way that most of Southern California wants. This track is fun. It's just it's a scary one. It's claimed a number of drivers over the years, and thankfully, no big incidents with Spec P71 as of yet. We did have two very green drivers that decided to go a little too ham in turn 9 and ended up going off of the edge of turn 9 to the outside and then back to the inside almost into a wall. But yeah, those drivers definitely learned from that experience, I feel like. So we see Tyler just continually having some fun here, getting a little dancy with his Haunted Hounds car. Gonna be perfectly honest here, Tyler. If you're listening to the stream, Willow Springs is Big Willow is probably not the best track to be drifting on with a 220 horsepower car. But I mean, by all means, we're thoroughly enjoying it here. So we switch over to some of our other drivers. It looks like we definitely had an off in turn 9. It's Lilac Zier. Visiting some of the scenery that's out there in turn 9. Switching back over to Tedward, who we did not update the damn livery once again. I apologize, Tedward. I should probably just do that right now. I don't want to mess up the stream. Just remind me after the race, and I'll do it real quick for the next event. But Tedward here, I know, has been turning quite a number of laps around this track in practice. Been checking that over the week here. Doing a great job trying to make up some of that lost time from Watkins Glen, where he's getting a little bit haywire. But it turns out he was running the wrong sway bar setup, as we see what is a classic move through turn 9. Hitting the outside edge as you try to make your way back towards the apex and just unfortunately taking too much. See, Colin, one of our series leaders here, tied with Sam Doherty for first place in the series, exiting the pits here. All these drivers trying to get some laps in here before qualifying. As we see, Sean Merrick has returned. One of our real-life drivers here in the 21 car. Doing a ton of maintenance to his car today. All thanks to Advanced Auto Parts on the West Coast here. Since they are liquidating all of their parts, you could buy basically an entire backup Crown Vic for about $500 in parts. I went to the one in Redondo Beach here on Friday, and I picked up basically an entire spare Crown Vic in case anything decides to fail on the car. So yeah, and I advised Sean about it, and he went down to the one in San Diego, picked up all the parts that he could, and did a bit of maintenance today. Sean and I both testing out the new regulations for Spec P71 2025, where we're allowed to run the Holy Hydromat, which helps with the fuel starvation below 3/4 of a tank. We're hoping that Hydromat is able to get us to run potentially around like a quarter tank. Save us about 50 pounds worth of weight in the rear, which would be fantastic. And moving on to another one of our drivers, looks like real life drivers, Chase Hudson. Taking a little bit of a scenic route through turn 9, just getting the feel for it. Kind of a standard thing to do here. So he dives into turn 1 here, getting all that compression. Good to see Chase back out here. Need to get that livery updated though for his new car. We'll see what he ends up doing with this new car. See if he decides to paint it at all or decides to change any of the overall look of it. And then another returner here, we have Ian Brandt. Missed out on the rainy day last week at Watkins Glen, but is back again today with his United Healthcare sponsored Luigi Mobile. Going in and through turn 8 over here. Keeping it safe, nice and tight on the entry. I'm going to hug that all the way down. Probably going to go off. Managed to hold on to it. Expecting him to go off a little bit there, but seems that he is well versed in the tight exit. Another one of our race winners here, Philip Aaron. Joining into the fray here. Looks like he's a little bit behind on lap times right now, but I'm sure he's just going to get into a groove and really lay it down for qualifying. And moving on to another driver that is he's been well talked about in both of the last 2 races, but not for any reason other than him being taken out by people. Hopefully, Steven gets a clean race in this week, get some separation between all the other drivers, and try to get himself away from everybody else. With the track being open and as wide as it is, I'm hoping that you can get some space, get out there, and really start pushing, start crunching for some positions in this race. We know he's a fantastic driver. He was one of our drivers in our TA2 series and did a fantastic job that year. Really, really smooth driver, really great driver, and courteous. Courteous when other drivers are courteous to him. Which in the past 2 races, unfortunately, James Pendry has done a number to his car. Has really spun him out, hit him a few times, and he had mentioned in chat that it's going to be the Don't Get Spun by James challenge, but I do not see James Pendry on the driver list as of yet, so maybe he's off scot-free this week. We'll see. Moving on to another one of our drivers, Amy Dilks in the Iron Dames Women Driven by Dreams car. Did a fantastic job keeping herself out of trouble at Watkins Glen in the rain last week. See what she could do on the West Coast at Willow Springs. And of course, back to our current leader, Matt Korchak, who I know does not necessarily prefer this track very much, but has pulled out a considerable lead at the moment. Doing a great job running his laps. could potentially end up with a pole position if he's able to replicate that lap, that 139 that he ran here in practice. For reference, one of the fastest lap times that I've seen here, in the sim, that is. Oh, as we see Matt go flying off. Not sure what happened there. Had to go visit his people. But some of the fastest laps, as I was just about to mention, it looks like Colin M comes across the line with a 138.678. Some of the faster lap times here that I have seen, that I have run, have been low 138s. So Colin working his way down here at Willow Springs, trying to get those extra few tenths to pull out in front of Matt, who recently got called back to his people. So we slowly but surely see the track can continue to turn into nighttime here. Will we have a night race by the end of the evening? We'll see. We see Matt Korchak attempting to join the server. I'm not really sure what's going on. Okay, he's back. Okay, perfect. Not sure what happened there. I'm sure I'll get a message later from him explaining what exactly the heck happened there. With a minute 30 left here in the session. Laps are winding down as we see Colin running a 138.390. Very nicely done. Colin getting used to this track and used to the line that you need to run here to be fast. It's definitely picked up the pace. Moving back to Tyler Heron here. Tyler also involved in our Hydro Homies group here. Hydro Homies, of course, being the Hydro Sim. Basically, the H1 Hydro Boat game. We've been messing around with that quite a bit. It's super addictive. Definitely not a Crown Vic, but close enough. And just as expected, I got a I don't effing know from Matt Korchak about what happened there. But interesting. AC said server unavailable. Not really sure. Maybe just a quick cutout. Don't really know what to tell you there, Matt. But hopefully that does not happen again, because you are one of the faster drivers here today. As interestingly enough, we do not see Sam Doherty on the list of drivers. Is Colin going to run unopposed this event? We shall see. As we head into overtime for practice here, I am going to take another sip of my drinky drink. It's what I like to call lit nog, left over from the holidays here. Thankfully, have a few more weeks of the alcohol left, and a few more weeks of the racing left, so it works out perfectly. Drinking some, I think it's called Bird Dog, if I remember correctly. Bird Dog cinnamon whiskey mixed with some eggnog. It's quite good. Highly recommended, especially if you're watching Crown Victoria's drive around around Willow Springs. Nothing better. In other news, super excited about the 2025 season for the Real Series. First event coming up February 8th at Buttonwillow's new circuit. Absolutely been an absolute blast driving that driving that track in the sim, as get some practice in before we head out there for real. as well as my own personal car, getting that thing all tuned up by Mo Speed Shop this upcoming weekend. And then off to the dyno we go to see what kind of power we can make out of the stump pulling absolute monster of a 4.6 liter 2 valve. Good to see you, Layla. Take a drink every collision. I think that's a reasonable request. As we see, I got a latest one was from Tedward, so I'll just take a drink for Tedward because hopefully that is the last collision he has this evening after his eventful session last week. Go ahead and get the qualifying session going here. Drivers to your cars and let's set that lap time. Everyone's storming the gates here, all the way out of the pit lane. We see Matt Gorchek and Tyler Heron trying to bomb their way out, and then Stephen Moore involved in this as well. Gentlemen, as much as I enjoy a good race, this is qualifying. They get some distance between each other and set those laps. Hope you're doing well this evening, Layla. Will we be seeing you and Chase out there at Willow for the new circuit on February 8th, or will you guys be attending a later event? Drivers still not getting enough distance between each other here. We got Stephen Moore pressuring Matt Korchek on the qualifying outlap. Feel like I'm watching something from Extreme Speed right now. We see Ian Brandt and Amy Dilks going off track here. It's the outlap. I don't know why we're fighting on the outlap, but you know what? Makes it enjoyable for the broadcast booth. Makes it enjoyable for the viewers. So let's see what happens here. Colin playing it smart. Looks like he's one of the few drivers that decided, you know what? I'm going to get my own little space on this track and away from everybody else. Same with Sean Merrick, who's decided, you know, I don't want to be a part of all the collisions and craziness that's occurring on the track. I'm going to just separate. Layla in chat says, I'm not sure if we'll make it to that one, but to be fair, it's not up to me. But we want to come out for others this year. Well, I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully we see you guys soon. I know I'm really excited to see you guys out there with that new P71 and turning some laps and just overall dialing in the driving and getting yourselves as comfortable as you can back out at the track. We continue to watch Sean Merrick make his way around turn 2 here. Gave us a little horn honk. I'm assuming that he's watching the stream on his YouTube dash or maybe on a separate screen. I'm not sure. But good luck, Sean. We hope you turn a fast lap as we switch back to the other drivers here. Looks like they gave each other a little bit of distance. Good idea. Good separation. Layla says, I'd love to passenger with you too. I've heard it's a very fun experience. It definitely can be, especially at Chuckwalla. I like to get a little sideways out there. It's a lot of fun. At a new track like Buttonwillow's circuit or any other track other than Chuckwalla, really, probably won't do anything too crazy. Chuckwalla is a pretty safe track to get a little sideways at. But yeah, you're more than welcome to ride along with me anytime. So we see Tyler Heron currently in the lead here with a 139.590. Looks like we've got a few infractions going on. Amy Dilks, Lilac Zier with some course cuts, so their laps will not count. Looks like Matt Korchak has returned to the pits and now is re-exiting. So we see a new leader, a new beacon has been lit, and it is Philip Aaron with a 139.244. With Matt Korchak right behind him physically, chasing him down, and now we have yet another leader in class, Colin M, with a 138.924 as he continues to dial that car and dipping his tires off a little bit there. But sending it hard, as you can see. See Stephen Moore running one of his fastest laps so far, 139.633. Really pushing hard, trying to catch back up to Colin M here. Drivers have 4 minutes left to get that fast lap in. See Amy Dilks swinging it around turn 1 here. And Sean Merrick right behind. So we switch back to Matt Korchak. Looking to see Matt try to really dial this car in here. He's a bit behind. We ran a 139 in practice here. Seems to be struggling to get back to it. Layla says, I love the nighttime sunset going on too. So pretty. Like I said earlier, I wish that we could run a evening race at Willow Springs. It would be a ton of fun. A little sketchy, but a ton of fun. I think it would be enjoyable for everyone, and as long as it's not super windy or super cold, because it is, according to the live weather, 53 degrees out currently at the actual track. So therefore 53 degrees in the sim. So a little bit nippy, but the cars would enjoy it. The tires would be happy about it. As we see Matt Korchak making his way around Amy Dilks, going into turn 8. Hopefully Matt used a bit of that draft there to get some speed as he heads down into 9. See those brakes lighting up, and Amy swinging the rear end out through 8 and 9 there. Beautiful move. Very poetic entry to turn 9. And we see Matt Korchak run one of his faster laps, 140.183. So definitely picking up some speed now. Picked up another place and is moving on up. Has to keep it going, keep it consistent. I think we'll see Matt in the top 5 here as long as he manages to stay clean all the way throughout the race and avoid any incidents. So we see Colin M down it in some more with a 138.741. Philip Aaron still right behind in second place. And Tyler Heron doing a great job. He did a great job last event as well in the rain, and is now sitting nicely in third place with Stephen Moore right behind. And Sean Merrick, one of our real life drivers here, figuring it out, getting that car dialed in, and down to 5th place now. Looks like drivers are all pretty similar in time here. It looks like Colin is the only one that's really setting the bar here with a 138. Doing a great job. Really pushing the bejesus out of that car. As we see night begin to fall here at Rosamond, California. Looks like we have Chase Hudson with a track cut as well as Tedward. Fortunate for those drivers. Chase doing a pretty good job out here in 9th place at a track that he's never driven in real life. So I mean, he's doing a fantastic job learning the ropes, getting it going, and really doing a great job here. As he heads up through Mustang Alley. For those of you that don't know, Mustang Alley is named that way because that is where all the Mustangs crash. It's just like someone is hosting a Cars and Coffee there, and you know what? Anytime you go through Mustang Alley, someone in a Mustang is going to crash there. Especially as of late with the new Mustang series that has come about at Willow Springs in December. That was a very interesting amount of off tracks there for Mustangs, but you know, there's a reason why it's called Mustang Alley. So you see Chase working on the back of Amy Dilks here, and Amy just lets him by now. Sam Doherty in chat saying he forgot he's here at overtime for qualifying, so he is not going to be able to set a lap for the first race. And it looks like he's now left the server somehow. Sam, you're gonna need to pull off the monster of all wins here, or races here. You're gonna do like a Max Verstappen where you're going from like the very back of the field all the way to the front. Or as you would say, you gotta pull off the Lance Stroll. You know, you gotta get Stroll into the front. Oh, he checksummed. Sam, you gotta update the track, my friend. So you see all the drivers finish. Sam, I will hold off on forwarding to the next session until you're in. So get that track installed and get your butt in here so we can move on. Unless the series or unless the server decides to just move on by itself, but I won't manually force it ahead. But delete that track and then reinstall with a new one. So we see Philip Aaron making his way around the track here. One of the final overtime cars here. I believe we have... Do we have... Is he here? Are you officially here? Say something in chat, Sam, and then I will move on. Bibbidi bobbidi, Sam. Come on. Say something or honk your horn or something. Oh, okay. Well, it's moving on anyway, so it's fine. All right. After... Oh, perfect. Yee, he says. After qualifying is over now, we'll run through the driver order for race 1. We've got Colin M in first place, Philip Aaron second, Tyler Heron third, Stephen Moore fourth, Sean Merrick fifth, Lilac Zier sixth, Tedward seventh, Matt Korchek eighth, Chase Hudson ninth, Ian Brandt 10th, Amy Dilks 11th, and Sam D with a solid lap of unknown in 12th. Proud of you, Sam. Good job making it on time and not fully forgetting. We're just gonna see some Lance Stroll movings going on. I am taking my power unit penalty and starting at the... Oh, okay. I mean, I don't know why you would need a power unit. The 4.6 is indestructible, so, you know. It's just, that doesn't make too much sense, Sam. And here we go. So we are set and ready to go for race 1 here. Loading in with Colin M in first place. Leader car here. Sam, that is some Ricer excuses there. We don't accept Ricer excuses in the chat. Sam says, "Well, I had planned to not, I had planned to make this race, and now I can. And then I was going to practice, and I didn't want to, and then I didn't, and I was taking a nap." That sounds just like my floorboard fell out, and I almost had you. That's how I read that. So we have 1 minute. The 1 minute board is up until this race starts. Looks like Tyler Herron is still in pit lane here. I'm not sure what's going on there. He should definitely make his way to grid. Or is it just going to start him from pit lane, which would mean that Assetto Corsa continues to make some errors here with the server, but who knows? We shall see. Oh. Looks like he is on grid now. Or is he? Oh, no, he left server. Not sure what's going on there. Gonna go ahead and reset the car after we jump. Oh, he almost was in. And we're off. Drivers are on their way to turn 1. Looks like Colin M gets a good start, but with Philip Aaron right up his inside. We see Philip Aaron dive bombing in. Stephen Moore right behind. Get a little bit, a few collisions going on here and there. We see drivers going real wide back there. Sam D off in the dirt here. Manages to hold on. So we head up towards the Omega. Philip Aaron taking over the lead here, with Colin M right behind Sean Merrick in 3rd and Stephen Moore in 4th. Flew with Sean Merrick getting a little wide there, out of shape, and sending everybody else behind him a little bit out of shape here. We got drivers everywhere in this pack. We're gonna go ahead and watch this entire group of cars. This looks very, very precarious. We see Tedward mixed into the in-between of everybody here. Lilac Zero up there. We've got Chase Hudson in the mix. And we got Matt Korchek in the mix as well. Great battle going on here between these guys. So we see Tyler Herron is back there. Oh, and we see Chase Hudson go around. And Matt Korchek getting involved. Oh, that is unfortunate on lap 1 here as we head into lap 2. something had to happen with that gigantic group of cars there, and unfortunately boiled down to that final corner. So we see Amy Dilks going a little wide there into turn 1. Tyler Heron working his way back up now in P10. Starting from pit lane. Not sure what occurred there. Might have been locked to pit lane, I assume. So we see Stephen Moore on the charge here. Working his way, or attempting to work his way up to P2 and P1. Philip Aaron just walking away with this currently. Got a nice little lead going on with Colin right behind him, giving him some pressure, letting them know he's there with those spotlights on. Oh, as we see, yes, and the pressure gets to Philip Aaron. He goes super wide through 9, leaving the door wide open for Colin M here. Colin's got a nice little run down the back straight. Is he going to be able to pull this off? We shall see. Continuing to pressure Philip Aaron here. Right on the back bumper of Philip Aaron. We are getting a fantastic show here between these two drivers. As I mentioned before, those spotlights doing some work right now, as we see Layla mention Spotlights of Fury. They are 100% blinding Philip in that mirror right now. Giving him that extra little advantage to Colin, but disadvantage to Philip. Moving back to some of our other drivers here. We're taking a look at Matt Korchik. Doing a great job here after that bit of an incident on lap 1, trying to work his way back up. Regardless of where he ends up at the moment, he is currently ahead of where he started. So he's doing a great job, and hopefully we see him up towards the top 5. As I mentioned, if he's able to keep it clean, he should be able to land the top 5 here. With those lap times that he's running, we take a look at Sam D. Already up to P6 here. Working Tedward right now. Potentially utilizing him as a drafting buddy to try to get him pulled back up to P4. See if those two work together. Both Sam and Tedward are drivers that are of TDT presence. I see collision with Chase Hudson with, I assume, Lilac behind them. And moving back forward, we got a little bit of another collision between Sam and Tedward. I think they're doing some bump drafting, trying to get their way back up towards the front. Looks like Matt Korchak is asking to be involved here, working his way up towards those guys too. Colin, either he is falling back or he's just waiting for Philip to make that mistake. We'll see what happens here. We know the draft is pretty strong here with these cars. Down that back straightaway and front straightaway. We'll see what Colin can make of it. That was a noise that came through my headset. I apologize for anyone listening with headphones just like I am. I am now deaf. Thank you, Assetto Corsa, for that. I appreciate it. As we see Colin continue to stick around 0.4 seconds here. Looks like Matt Korchak getting in front of both Sam and Tedward. Matt getting a little out of shape there at the very exit of turn 9. I think Sam and Tedward must have gotten into each other and had a little bit of an incident. Then a little further back, we have Ian Brandt running his fastest lap of the race, 142.8. Tyler Heron doing a great job once again, up to P9 now, about to be working his way past Ian Brandt. Continues to lay down those lap times. A little further back in the 12th, we have Amy Dilks crossing the finish line, doing a great job. A little further ahead, Lilac Zier, P11. Chase Hudson, P10, had that unfortunate collision early on. We'll have to review what happened there. Back up towards the front. Colin, slowly but surely, closing in here. 0.2 seconds behind. See if he can make something of it. Philip Aaron holding that inside line as much as he possibly can to try to keep Colin behind. So we see some collisions. Oh, we see Philip Aaron go off. The pressure gets to Phil as Colin makes his way by and takes over P1. Colin now well outside of the drafting distance, unfortunately for Philip Aaron. See what he could do to try to work his way back up front. We see Stephen Moore laying down some solid 140s. See if he's able to also manage to work his way up towards Philip. And then Sean Merrick right behind him. Doing a great job, as I mentioned, one of our real-life drivers. Up here in P4, giving the Simmers a run for their money. Fun fact, Sean Merrick is playing on a laptop, of all things. The unique setup that he has, I wish I could share it with the chat. Does a great job. Like, he's obviously doing his thing. He's in P4. He's doing good. And, I mean, if you could make a laptop work as a sim rig, why the hell not, right? It means it's just portable, so you could take it to the track if you really wanted to. Put it in his RV that he brought out and just practice before he goes out on track. We see more and more bumping going on between Sam and Tedward. I don't know how long that is going to last without there being a severe incident. As we see Colin running 138.716, his fastest lap of the race. Believe that means Colin is going to be checking out here. Sam giving Matt Korchek a flash of his headlights here. Working up the inside of Tedward. Holding on to the position for now. Okay, we're looking up the outside now. Great little battle between these two. So we see Tedward takes over the position. Then Matt Korchek off by his lonesome. I had mentioned during practice that he was going to get a P5 if he managed to, or top 5 if he managed to keep it clean. He's there. If he manages to continue to keep this clean, he will have this. With 3 minutes remaining left in race 1 here at Willow Springs. We see Tedward going off in the dirt. Sam is just relentless right now. He's like, no, 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 that is my position, and definitely gave Tedward some dirt to look at. Thankfully, these Crown Victorias are meant for the dirt, so that's totally fine. Going back to P1 here. Colin just checking out now, guys. He is, as soon as he had some free real estate in front of Philip, it was all over. Just churning out those 138s, leaving Philip behind with his 140s. Great driving by Colin. Now, real dark here out at Willow Springs. Nighttime really setting in here. Lights are on. Drivers driving by Braille at this point. And we see Colin just continue to set lap times that are untouchable at the moment. 138.698, fastest lap of the session. Doing a great job. We see a battle going on here between Stephen Moore and Sean Merrick as we wind down to the last few laps of the race here. I think this is going to be the last lap, if I'm not mistaken. See if Sean can close off a P3 finish, or if Stephen Moore is just going to walk away with it here. Sean's got to get in there. He's got to dig deep to try to get that position. Especially now. Stephen Moore as they head on down and out of the Omega onto the back straight. Looks like Sam D and Tedward also having a battle as well. We'll hold on here. So we see Colin working his way towards the finish. Are they going to get another lap? Is he going to cross the finish? I don't think he's going to make it in 10 seconds. As we see Colin catching a little air through that turn 9. Hopping up and over that curb, and it looks like this is the end. Colin M comes away with a win in race 1 with Philip Baird right behind in P2. And Sean Merrick and Stephen Moore coming across the line. Stephen Moore takes P3, Sean Merrick P4, and Matt Korchek P5. As I mentioned, he's got the top 5 in him. And he manages to hold on. Sam D and Tedward fighting it out back further. Sam D comes out on top there against Tedward. And Tyler Heron comes across a P8. Chase Hudson, P9. Ian Brandt, not a lot to be said about him as of yet this weekend. Ian Brandt comes in P10. We see Lilac Zier coming across in P11. And then, of course, Amy Dilks heading into turn 8 right now, coming in P12. Race 1 all finished up here. Everyone is locked in their position. We're excited to see what happens in race 2. Of course, P5 through P1 are going to be reverse grid for race 2. So it's anyone's game. That means Matt Korchek is going to be P1 starting this race. With Sean Merrick in P2, Stephen Moore P3, and Philip Aaron P2, or P4, and Colin M P5. Let's see what happens. All drivers have crossed the finish line now. Just waiting on them to all return to pit lane. As we head back towards the winner here, Colin M. Fantastic drive. Sam D says that new power unit must have come from Renault. That's unfortunate to hear. Renault, not the trusted brand in Formula One. So maybe try something from Honda. Honda's always a solid choice in F1. All right, looks like all drivers have crossed the finish line. So we are going to go ahead and forward to the next session as to not continue to waste your time this evening. Matt is in chat. Our current P1 driver now saying reverse grid will be interesting. Yes, it sure will. Especially considering P1 starts on the outside. So Sean Merrick has a bit of control here. If he wants to do a dirty move, he could push Matt completely to the outside. It all depends on that start. See what happens. CMD says, I'm just going to sprinkle some freedom fries on the intake, and that should do it. I hope the best for your sprinkles, Sam. Unfortunate that you're just outside of the reverse grid. You would have been P1 for race 2 had you made another position. But that Renault power unit just not coming in clutch. We see we're down to 50 seconds before the race begins. Drivers all ready to go here. Let's see what happens. I should probably get ready as well because I see that I am at the very back of the grid and probably going to cause some problems if I don't move my car. 20 seconds to green. Lights are out. We're going to go bright red and then the green will drop. Get ready for race 2 of round 3 of Spec P71. And they're off. See Matt Korchek getting a decent start here. Tedward getting a real nice start further back. Moving up this way, making it 3 wide going into turn 1. Matt dives in and holds on to P1 here. So we see Stephen Moore start to work his way towards the front. Oh, Stephen Moore getting a little sideways there and just ever so slightly touches Sean Merrick. Diving in as we head up towards the Omega for lap 1. Got some collisions going on. Bumping and grinding all the way up to the balcony here. Matt Korchek just trying to get out as front as fast as possible. Matt saying, I don't want any part of all the shenanigans going on behind me right now. As we see an incident behind, looks like Tyler Heron involved, Ian Brandt involved, and Lilac Zier involved. As well as Chase Hudson. Some bumping and grinding going on, guys. Matt playing it safe, taking the inside line away from Sean Merrick as they head through 9. It's now nighttime desert here in Rosamond as we see Sean Merrick coming up the inside of Matt Korchek going into turn 1 here. Let's see if he's able to hold on to that. We got a 3-way battle going on between these drivers. Sean getting a little loose there. Stephen Moore having to check up. Now Matt holding on to that position as we see A new challenger has arisen. Philip Aaron back into the mix here in P2. See if Phil ends up trying to rattle Matt Korchak here a little bit. Some great racing going on. We see Philip Aaron go a little wide there, slowing people down behind him. Maybe he's playing the blocker for Matt. Matt getting a little bit of a distance now. So we see take a ride along with Matt Korchak here and Philip Aaron drawing him in with that lovely draft. See if he goes around to the outside here. A dangerous move. Let's see if Philip can make it work or whether or not Matt's going to pinch him towards the outside. Looks like Matt's giving him some decent room here. And we see Philip Aaron go off. Very typical. You don't want to go too wide through turn 9. It usually never works. Never seen that actually pay off for anybody. So we move a little further back now and see the mix of cars that we've got going on here. A little 5-car battle. Looks like Sam has managed to work his way around Colin. Something that we're gauging at this point. Ooh, as we see a little bumping and grinding between Stephen Moore and Philip Aaron. Something that we've gauged here, though, going into race 2 from the past 2 events is that, we see Sean Merrick and Stephen Moore get taken out. Looks like potentially caused by Sean Merrick there. Stephen Moore getting a little sideways, trying to get out of the way for Tedward. Moving back up towards the front here, as we were mentioning about Colin here. Very fast driver, able to crank out that qualifying lap, crank out a good race 1, but seems to always drop off for race 2. Let's see what he's able to manage to do, if he's able to keep far enough ahead so that Sam is not able to make his way back around in the championship points. So we hear someone's gone off big time. Looks like Sam ends up in the dirt here as we see Chase almost murder Sam going through 9. That if that were a real life moment, that would be a bit of a pucker moment of the butthole for sure. So we see a little further back, Tyler pushing Ian Brandt down the front straightaway, trying to get some time back here. Looking towards the outside of Ian Brandt. And it looks like we got some bumping and banging going on up front between Matt Korchak and Philip Aaron. I feel like if there are 2 drivers that are going to be working together, it's going to be these 2, trying to get some good results out of this, but also get away from everyone behind them, specifically Colin, because we know he is a monster behind the wheel. So we see Philip Aaron diving down to the inside. I think Matt has officially just said, fuck it, let him by, and let's see if they continue to work together to try to get away from Colin and hold on to those P1 and P2 positions. So we see the full motion of the Crown Victoria as it heads down into turn 8, turn 9. Matt with a good run here. Philip Aaron with a 139.9. Colin with a 139.0. With a second a lap gap and 8 minutes left. This could be very interesting. See if Matt's able to hold off Colin long enough to keep on the P2. Or how long Matt is able to hold on, and how much Phillip Aaron is going to owe Matt after this race if he decides to really do some blocking for him. Not too much excitement going on otherwise. We do have some packs of drivers here, though. Nothing too tight at the moment, I don't believe. We got a little bit of racing going on up here between Lilac and Chase Hudson. So we hear someone go off a little bit there. I don't know where that might have been. Looks like all drivers are still going. No cuts were detected. Sam continuing to try to work his way up from P6. He's kind of stuck back there a little bit. So we see Sam doing a bit of drafts into Lilac. And we see Colin run the fastest lap of the entire weekend so far with a 138.351. Colin is on a mission here to try to catch back up to Matt and Phillip. So we continue to watch this fantastic battle between Lilac and Sam here. Chase is just loving this battle right now, because it's given him a bit of distance between away from those two while they battle it out. Looks like someone potentially dropped out of the race there. It's missing. I'm not really sure what happened. Oh, Amy's internet is doing Amy's internet things. She kind of disappeared for a few moments there, but she's back. P10. Stephen Moore trying to work his way back up from the incident that he had, as well as Sean Merrick back there in P12. You gotta feel for Stephen Moore at this point. Literally every single event so far, he has been involved in some kind of incident that's taken him out of contention. It's unfortunate that he is always had a target on his back at this point, but hopefully he's able to get back up towards the front and get some points out of this. As we see, we must have missed this. Phillip Aaron pulled some sort of move that caused him to lose his P1, and now Colin is on Matt Korchak's ass and all over it at this point with 4 minutes left. Colin is going around the outside here and now has the inside as we head up towards the Omega. Something big had to have happened there for that to all go down. That's unfortunate. We didn't get any kind of collision notification, so I can only assume that Phillip pulled a Phillip and ended up losing all that time, and somehow Matt more than likely checked up a bit, causing Colin to collect them both, get caught back up, and now Colin is back in P1. I believe we've seen now where Colin is the strongest. Willow Springs seems to call his name so far. P1 in race 1 and looking to collect a P1 in a race 2 here. But Phillip Aaron, not sure what happened. Can only assume that he did exactly what he just did. Gone off a bit wide in turn 9. A little further back, we got a little bumping and grinding going on. It looks like Lilac gets by Chase Hudson. Sam just cruising back there in P6, maybe waiting to see what happens between these two. Looks like something happened to Ian Brandt here. It looks like the timing is all going wacky. Must have gone off in turn 9. Down there in P12 now. Amy Dilks, P11. Sean Merrick, P10, moving up. Stephen Moore, P9, also moving up. Edward in a solid P8 with Tyler Herring right in front, P7. Sam D trying to figure out what's happening here, guys. He's looking for that right move with the 2 drivers ahead of him, Lilac Zier and Chase Hudson, battling it out, jockeying for that position. Great little battle between these two. Gotta hand it to Matt Korchek, holding on to P5 in that race 1, and then now just dialing it in for P2. Just gotta he has to keep it clean for the next minute and 30. Could potentially be this could potentially be the final lap. It all depends. I'm not. Oh, we see Sam D get a little bit chaotic over the T9 curbing there. Drivers pushing hard. We see Philip Aaron with his fastest lap of the race, 139.045. Driving with a bit of fury, I'm sure, after losing P1. It's a great little battle to watch here. See who comes out on top between these 3. Sam really getting impatient here. He's got to make a move soon, because we are closing in on that final lap. Believe that this is likely to be the final lap for the race. We'll see if Sam decides to really dive it in there for turn 9. Has to make something happen. As we see him back it off, he lifts off. Chase cuts him off a little bit there to hold on to that position. Moving back towards the start finish here, we have Colin M with another victory here. With Matt Korchek right behind his P2, Philip Aaron P3, Lilac Zier coming across the line. P4, Chase Hudson P5, Sam D P6. Another battle going on in the back there. Tyler Herring P7, Tedward P8, Stephen Moore P9, Sean Merrick P10, Amy Dilks next up in line here. Onto the front straightaway, getting a little bit dirty. That's fine. Solid P11 for her. And then Ian Brandt rounding out the group of cars here at round 3 of Spec P71 Virtual Series. Congrats again to Colin M on his victory here in both races. A clean sweep of the weekend as we head into round 4 next week of Road Atlanta. Fantastic drive by all drivers here today. Considerably less incidents, which we, of course, appreciate. I'm sure the drivers do as well. And yeah, we'll go ahead and see you guys next week. As mentioned, we will be round 4 at Road Atlanta. Once again, we'll go through the list of finishing positions. We got Colin M in P1, Matt Korchek P2, Philip Aaron P3, Lilac Zier P4, Chase Hudson P5, Sam D P6, Tyler Herring P7, Tedward P8, Stephen Moore P9, Sean Merrick P10, Amy Dilks P11, and Ian Brandt P12. And I see now that I completely missed your message, Layla. I apologize. The fastest lap time that you could potentially get is going to be a 138.0. That's what I ended up running here in some practice laps before we headed there for the real event. And I see Bonnie is in chat now. Hello, Bonnie. Hope you're enjoying your evening with the new kitty that your parents have, Dennis or Denise, depending on if it's a boy or a girl. We don't know yet. Dennis the Menace or Denise the Menace. Who knows? But yes, once again, thank you all for joining. And we will be back once again next weekend, same time, same place, for round 4 at Road Atlanta. A very fun, very fast, very exciting track. Very big elevation changes, long straightaway for passing. Should be a great time. Thank you again for tuning in. Till next time.